Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us for a product tour this morning or afternoon, just depending on wherever you are located. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here with us. For anyone who is unfamiliar with the GoToWebinar platform, I just want to introduce a couple of things. Just note that you are all on mute. You can use your control panel as shown here on the slide to submit any questions at any time during this product tour. We will be stopping throughout the webinar to address any questions we receive, so we encourage you to ask away. At the end of this webinar, an exit survey will pop up, so if you could please take a couple of moments to fill out the survey, about 5 questions or so, and provide us with some feedback. That way we can continue to improve our webinars. It would be greatly appreciated. Lastly, I do want to mention that this webinar is being recorded. So if you would like to rewatch or share with a colleague who is unable to attend, you will receive an email from us with the recording tomorrow morning. So before we dive into the meat of the webinar today, I want to take a moment to introduce myself and my colleague Juan. My name is Jessica, and I'm the marketing manager here at NovoEd, and I'm joined by our solutions consultant, Juan Moran.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
We're both very excited to be here with you all. And then just to go over a quick agenda, we'll start with a brief overview of NovoEd, as well as share some context as to who we are and our role in the learning tech ecosystem before ultimately diving into a demo of our online digital learning platform, which will be led by Juan later on. So to give you a brief overview of who NovoEd is. NovoEd started at the Social Algorithms Lab at Stanford University and was founded by a Stanford professor and his PhD student, who is currently our CTO. The platform was created on the principles of social collaboration and peer-to-peer learning. Our award-winning digital learning platform powers real learning for the skills that matter most to modern learners. The platform enables the creation, curation, and delivery of engaging learning experiences that build high-value skills, enable business transformation, and improve organizational performance. To date, over 1 million adult learners have developed their skills through practice and feedback, coaching and mentorship, and team-based projects, which we'll walk through just a little bit later. So before we dive deeper into this topic, I'm going to pause right here to just quickly launch a poll. We'd love to hear from all of you, and you should see a poll pop up on your screen momentarily with a question asking, what are your top L&D priorities for 2020? You can select multiple answers. They'll give you all a couple moments to respond before we close the poll and share the results. Thank you. I'll keep the poll open for about another 10 to 15 seconds. Thank you to everyone who has participated so far. Great, thank you everyone for participating. I'm just going to share the results with you all. So it looks like a large majority of you are working on, or rather prioritizing cost-effectively scaling training. And then there's a mixed bag between the need to develop initiatives that create sustained value, the need to upskill, reskill, and digital transformation. If you happen to click other, please share your answer with us. We would love to see what we may have missed in our options here. So thank you again, everyone, for participating in our poll. Our platform is designed for the modern learner, so we have a very streamlined, modern, and engaging UX. What really differentiates the NovoEd learning platform are 3 key things. One is our high-impact learning experience. The NovoEd creates a rich, interactive community to arise during the learning experience, much like what would occur when people get together in a room for training through integrated instruction, reflection, application, practice, and projects. Peer-to-peer learning, team, groups, and cohorts, as well as social discovery and networking enable an organic community around the learning topic that engages curiosity and drives social learning. And lastly, learning at scale. With our enterprise-ready platform, you can meet your learners where they're at with an engaging mobile learning strategy. So to just sum it all up, NovoEd enables you to create rich learning experiences online, making it efficient to scale important training across your organization. NovoEd courses are very easy to build, which we will display later on, using your own or third-party content, so you can launch rapidly and adjust as you go. So to place NovoEd in the context of the learning technology ecosystem, I do want to mention that NovoEd does not replace the LMS, but it can integrate with it. The traditional LMS was created to track training and not necessarily to provide a great online learning experience, which is why so much of e-learning today provides just basic consumption of information with a very small amount of interaction, if any. So NovoEd provides a true online learning experience for rich interaction and application. With that all said, I'm going to turn it over to Juan, who will walk you through the NovoEd digital learning platform. I do want to mention we'll be stopping for questions a couple of times throughout, so feel free to send us anything through the control panel. So 1 second while we switch presenters here.
All right, fantastic, and thank you, Jessica. And yes, please send in your questions as we go. We're happy to address those during the breaks. What we're going to do today is provide you a functional demo of 3 different user experiences on the NovoEd platform. Now, we support a variety of different use cases, including leadership development, digital transformation, upskilling, onboarding, diversity and inclusion. And we do it in a lot of different spaces, corporate learning, executive education, training firms, and social impact nonprofit organizations as well. So let me give you just a high-level overview of what that experience could look like engaging in those different types of courses as a learner, as well as a mentor, and as an administrator. And when I say administrator, I mean someone that could serve multiple roles, such as the course designer, the course facilitator, and the administrator who's configuring things and looking at things like analytics, for example. So we'll take a look at all those different experiences, and we'll start off with the learner experience. So I'm already logged in now as a learner named Leah, and we're going to use a leadership development example for today, an example in corporate learning. So Leah was just promoted, and she's a new manager. She's been enrolled in a leadership development course where she can learn how to be a better manager for a virtual team. So she's leading a group of people that are distributed around the world, and she's taking part in the course with a cohort of colleagues who have also been recently promoted. And let's take a look at what that experience is like on the NovoEd platform. So let me zoom out here. And as you can see, Leah is already logged into the NovoEd platform, and this is the very first thing she sees, her learning dashboard. Now, you heard Jessica say that we don't replace the LMS, but we can integrate with it. So if you'd like, you could use your LMS as a system of record, and we could have your LMS and NovoEd talk to each other and share things like registration data and completion data. We also support single sign-on, so if you want to launch your NovoEd course from your LMS, you could do that. But that said, we also support a standalone experience. And for some of our customers, the NovoEd platform is the only learning environment they have. So that said, we're back here on the learning dashboard. And this is like a home base for learners like Leah. This is where she could see whichever courses or learning journeys she's enrolled in. She can also see courses she's completed, certificates of completion she's earned. She can also see wherever she left off in any of her learning journeys. You'll notice here that for her 2 courses, we could see exactly what was the last thing she did, whether that was through the web browser or through the mobile app that we provide for iOS and Android devices. Now over here on the left side, she has a persistent navigation where she can do things like change things like her account settings, her notifications, for example, and the preferences for those notifications. She can also change her language. We do support 9 languages today. And she can also communicate and be communicated with. So you'll see here she has access to things like announcements, as well as notifications. These are automated notifications. They are triggered when your learners, mentors, and facilitators are engaging in a course and doing things like sending out an invitation for a meeting. You'll see here that Leah received an invitation from her coworker, Jim, who's also participating in the training with her. They're working on a team project. So he invited Leah and the other teammates to get together and work on that project together. There's also notifications for things like someone mentioned you in a discussion or someone asked you a question. So these are actionable notifications. You'll notice that they're links. So you can just click on that link as a learner like Leah. It'll take you exactly where that action happened. So you can do things like close the loop and answer a question that was asked to you. Now, you also have the ability to communicate one-on-one with other learners as well as with your mentors and facilitators. And these messages are accessible right here in the platform, but you can also access them from your email. So a lot of our customers appreciate that we provide some email marketing functionality. You can send out very targeted messages to groups of learners. So for example, if you started a new learning journey and you're a week into it, you can select to just send a nudge email to those people that haven't logged in yet to encourage them to come into their NovoEd course. Now below all these great ways we can stay connected, we have shortcuts to all the courses that you're enrolled in as a learner like Leah, and also any teams and groups you're involved in. So we support teams and groups. Teams are really utilized for working on projects with other members of the cohort. Groups are really great for supporting affinity groups. So that could be perhaps grouping people together that are in the same region or the same vertical, or maybe they have a common interest, like they're all dog lovers. So as you can imagine, you could use groups as a way to build community and build relationships amongst your learners. Now let's take a look at Leah's leadership development learning journey that she's taking part as a newly promoted manager. So as we go into the learning journey here, and I'm just going to minimize that left navigation panel so we can see a little bit more of the course. And let me give you an orientation of what you're seeing here. So we just came into Leah's learning journey on leading virtual teams, and this is the homepage of the course. On the right side, there's a social community panel, and this is where Leah and other learners can see who's been active in this particular course. This is her learning community. She could see what's been trending as well, like posts within discussions, for instance. And she can also see suggestions of things she might want to explore, like some affinity groups that she may want to join. We have a couple here, multicultural leadership and leading with chocolate, just a fun group for individuals who are chocolate lovers. Now, that's a great way to stay up to date on what's happening within the learning journey community. In the center of the homepage, you'll notice that we also provide you an easy way as a learner to stay up to date on your progress on your journey. Now, there are some progress bars Leah can access here. She could see how many points she's earned within her journey. She can see all the required to-dos. You can have anywhere from 0 to 3 progress bars. We could even add a third bar that really highlights the assignments that she's working on here. And as we drill down into those to-dos, you could see that there are a variety of different types of to-dos that are being tracked. And Leah could see that she has tests and assignments she has to complete, but there are also other things that are marked as to-dos, like watching a video, participating in a discussion, as well as completing an end-of-course survey, so she can provide the facilitator some feedback on what her experience has been like in this learning journey. Now below the progress bars, there's access to all the modules and lessons that Leah and other learners are going to engage with. So this could be like your week 1 module and week 2 module. And you'll notice that we provide specific information just from a glance, like for every module and lesson, how many points can be earned and how many points has Leah earned so far. Here she has 10 out of 40 for the first lesson on remote meeting basics. We're also going to clarify expectations of the work of your learners. So you'll notice here we have 20 minutes of work that has completed. You could also display how many minutes of watching videos you have to do, or how much reading is required. So learners are very much, they very much understand what they have to do in order to complete their course and get a certificate of completion, for instance. Now let's take a look at what this course experience looks like. I'm just going to drill down into that first lesson in Module 1 on remote meeting basics. And you'll notice that Leah on the left side has access to a learning journey outline, so she'll always know where she is within the learning journey. Now, your learning journeys are flexible in terms of how they're set up to engage your learners. They could be set up to be completely open, where learners can jump around at different modules and lessons they'd like to complete for their preference. You could also make this sequential. You could release modules and lessons by a specific date and time, and even use prerequisites so that a learner can't access assignment 2, for instance, until they complete assignment 1, because they're building on one another, and you want to make sure they're following that specific learning sequence. Now, in the canvas of a lesson for remote meeting basics, you'll notice we have a variety of content. There are images, there's text, we support documents. We're SCORM compliant. We even provide you a SCORM cloud player as part of the learning platform. And we support a lot of engaging content too, like podcasts and videos. In fact, here's a video that Leah is supposed to watch as a to-do. And we're tracking her watching this video, so we can report analytics like, did she watch it? How much did she watch? We can even award points automatically for watching the video. You'll notice that the video just stopped automatically, and it asked a question. Now, that could be a survey question if you want to gauge where your learners are at. Here we're asking Leah, because we're talking about virtual teams, if she's ever worked virtually before. Has she ever had a remote job, for example, prior to coming to her organization, NUCO? This could be a quiz question where you also award points for answering those questions correctly too. So you can embed your assessments within these videos as well. Now, we provide all your content and activities in line in the course experience, and we bring the activities to the content. So you'll notice that the video is now prompted with a discussion. So we're asking learners like Leah to start practicing talking about the things that she's learning in content like the video, for instance. In this discussion, we're asking about similarities and differences between working from an office and working from home. So maybe Leah wants to contribute to that conversation and say something like work-life balance is important for both, and submit that comment. There you see, she just got awarded 10 points automatically for contributing, and she just completed that to-do as part of her learning journey. Now you'll notice that in the discussion, Leah can respond to things others are saying. She can upvote and like what they're saying, and she can even drill down and learn more about her peers within the cohort as well. So you'll notice that she just clicked on the profile for Darren, and she can read more about Darren. She could see that he's at NUCO. He's been there for a couple years, just like Leah, and he also used to be an analyst. So this is a great opportunity for Leah to connect with Darren. She can send him a message. She can even invite him to be part of her team and work on a team project assignment that's part of this learning journey. We actually provide integrations with both LinkedIn and Facebook to make it really easy to pull your personal information here. And of course, as you can imagine, it's really useful for enabling your learners to get to know each other, build relationships, network, and then, of course, continue building those relationships even after the learning journey is complete. Now, here's a PowerPoint presentation, as you can see embedded here. We also support external content. If you're using videos from LinkedIn Learning, for example, you can embed those here. Everything's always going to be displayed in line. And I've talked a lot about working on a learning journey as part of a cohort, but we do have customers doing self-paced courses on our platform. They love that there's automated feedback available. So you'll notice here that Leah completed a quiz already. And she can not only see which answer she got right and which one she got wrong, but she can even see very specific feedback that was provided automatically once she submitted her answers for this quiz. So she can, down to the very specific answer in a question, see why is that answer right or wrong. And of course, that's part of her learning experience. Now, as Leah continues navigating through her learning journey, she comes to an individual challenge. So this is an individual assignment. We support team assignments too. And in this example, we're asking Leah to once again apply and practice what she's learning. In this particular challenge, we're asking her to record a video of herself practicing leading a meeting. Now, she'll see that she's going to have peers looking at her work and giving feedback. We even provided a rubric that Leah and other learners can see, so she knows exactly how she's going to be evaluated. And again, we're setting very, very clear expectations for what we expect Leah to do with this particular assignment. Now, it's a video she has to record, so she can record her video and upload her video file from here. But we do have a mobile app, and we want to make sure that learners can continue progressing in their learning journeys wherever they are. So let's say Leah stepped away from her desk, she's no longer in front of her computer, and she goes into a conference room for a meeting, but she's a little early. So she decides to make some more progress on her learning journey. She pulls out her phone. And this is my iPhone. So we do have the mobile app available for iOS devices, anything from Apple, but we also have it available for Android devices too. You can find it in the Google Play Store. So Leah can come to the mobile app. And what's really nice about the mobile app is it provides you some additional benefits that you would get from a mobile responsive site. Now, NovoEd is mobile responsive. You can access it on a mobile browser. But one thing you could do within the mobile app that you can't do in a mobile browser is access offline content. So Leah actually came in ahead of time and started downloading content and activities that she can access when she's offline, because maybe she's going to be somewhere where she knows she's not going to have a good internet or phone service connection. Maybe she's traveling and she's on a plane doing business travel. So she downloaded this content and these activities so that she can continue to make progress on her learning journey, despite whether having a connection online or not. Now, you'll notice in the mobile app that it also remembers exactly where Leah last left off. So that was the individual challenge where she's supposed to record a video practicing leading a meeting. Now, because she's on a device that has a microphone and a camera included, she could just use this to record her video and submit it. So right from here, she can start working on that video, take the video right here from my mobile device, record herself practicing her meeting presentation, and then she can retake it or go ahead and use it and submit it. Now, depending on how you configure the assignment, we could automatically grant Leah her points for completing the assignment, or we could set up a workflow where there's actually an approval process. We could send this video, for example, to the facilitator or to her mentor to review it, decide whether she met the requirements of the assignment, and then decide whether she deserves her points or whether she should revise it. Now think of that as maybe a part one of this assignment. Record your video. And then part two, perhaps, is give your peers some feedback on their video. So you'll notice below the assignment, there's a submission gallery that Leah can access. This is user-generated content from her peers within the cohort. So maybe Leah can also get points for providing feedback to her peers here. So she could see videos from her peers like Rebecca, for instance. She could see what the feedback is from others that has already been submitted. In fact, you'll notice that at the bottom there's feedback from Leah's manager, Mark. That's why he has that little M badge next to his image there. So there's already a lot of very lively conversation happening here. Now, that's an individual assignment that Leah can engage with. And it's just one example of how you can assess your learners here on the NovoEd platform. As Leah moves on into the next step within her learning journey, she comes to a team challenge. This is a team assignment. And one big differentiator about the NovoEd platform is that we not only enable you to have your learners group together into teams and really emulate what they're going to do in the real world. You know, they're going to be working with their teams as well, and they're going to maybe get around a table to solve problems. And we want to take that experience that they're going to be doing in the real world and bring it online. So what we did is we provided every team as well as group a dedicated workspace. So this is where Leah and her 4 other teammates here can meet asynchronously as well as synchronously. You'll notice here there are discussions. So they're having conversations about their project. In this case, it's developing a team charter. And they can also meet synchronously. So they can send out an invitation for a meeting, provide a link to their conferencing tool, whether that's Zoom or WebEx or Skype or something else. And everyone's going to get a meeting invitation where they can clarify whether they're going to attend or not. And as soon as it's time to meet, they'll get a reminder as well to join that meeting. And they could do other things here as well within the workspace. They can share content. As you see, we can upload a document. We can also share work that we've done in the past as a learner, so you can access all the artifacts of learning that are available within the learning journey as well. And when the team's ready to submit, it really just takes one person to submit that assignment on behalf of the whole team. And you'll see here, this is exactly where Leah can go ahead and submit that. Now, you've seen a lot of different things here. You've seen Leah engage in a learning journey that's very collaborative. It's also very social. She's also able to take advantage of feedback from peers and also be able to work with teams, the same way she's going to be leading her virtual team. Now, we're also going to show you how she can get support from a mentor. But before we do that, any questions about Leah's experience as a learner?
Thank you, Juan. We've actually received a lot of questions, so I'm very excited. And thank you, everyone, for submitting your questions so far. If you don't have questions now and you do later on, feel free to use the panel to submit anything. So first question here, does the platform make use of push notifications and or emails to inform learners of notifications in the platform?
Yes, so as you maybe saw at the beginning of the demo here, there are automated notifications that are pushed out automatically and they're actionable. And then you can also send out emails too. And all those emails are also delivered internally in the NovoEd platform as well. Those messages, including emails, can be scheduled in advance and you can do them ad hoc as well.
Great. And earlier you mentioned that we support 9 languages. Can you talk about, or rather, can you share the languages that we support currently and if there are any plans to extend to this?
Absolutely. Well, we are always planning on extending the number of languages that we offer, so it's an ongoing thing. Today, we support Spanish. We have 2 different dialects for Spain and Latin America. We also support French, 2 different dialects of Portuguese for Portugal and Brazil. And then we also support simplified Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and also Russian and German. And we'll be adding more languages in the very near future.
Great. Next question, where does the content come from?
The content can come from a variety of different places. You could utilize content you already have, whether that's content that you're using in an existing online course on another platform. You can use your instructor-led training content as well for in-person trainings. You can use external content too. So I mentioned you might be licensing content from like LinkedIn Learning, for instance, or Harvard Managed Mentors. So you can just embed that external content right here, make it available inline, and even still take advantage of the analytics that these external third-party content providers give you too. Now, we also can help you develop your content. We've got a great team of learning experience designers in our professional services team that are available to guide you and assist you.
Amazing. So last question for this specific section, can you release content within the course at different times rather than having all the modules and content available when the course begins?
Absolutely. So you do have the ability to release your content at really any time you'd like to. So for example, right here within a lesson of a module, I could provide a specific date and time when I want it to go out and made available to the learners.
Amazing. So let's go ahead and move on to the mentor side of our platform. And again, if you have questions, feel free to send them our way so that we can stop again shortly to answer them.
Sounds great. All right, so Leah has a mentor, and I mentioned him earlier when she was working on her peer review assignment, and her mentor is her manager. So mentors can be a variety of different individuals. In this example, Leah's mentor is her manager, Mark. But we've seen mentors be subject matter experts, instructors, course facilitators, administrators. So really, it's up to you who you'd like to make a mentor. By the way, you can also use your own terminology on our platform. You can call assignments challenges, you can call mentors coaches, or something else. Now, let's take a look at Mark's experience as that mentor. So Mark's already logged in here. And when he's in the course, he's going to see my mentees, or it could be see my learners. As we said, you can use your own terminology. And he's going to be able to access a mentee dashboard. And this is where he could see everyone that he's supporting within this learning journey. Now, you can have multiple mentors. We could have like several managers, for example, enrolled in this learning journey, and they're working with just their direct reports as a mentor. Now they can see, as a mentor, the same progress bars that learners see, so that way they can get on the same page with their learners in terms of how they're doing in the learning journey, if they're going to be meeting, and someone like Mark might be providing feedback. Now, there's also the ability to access those profiles I mentioned and send out messages, maybe like a nudge, to maybe complete an assignment that has a due date coming up really soon. Now, there are also analytics that Mark can see, like who's logged in, who hasn't, and even notifications like who needs some feedback or approvals. A moment ago, you saw me submit a video on behalf of our learner, Leah. So it's right here. So Mark can access that video submission for the assignment, review it, and provide some feedback right here. Maybe Leah did an awesome job. So he can give her that feedback and even check a box so that other members of the cohort can see that feedback. Maybe Mark wants to use Leah's video as a good example of what he's expecting everyone in the cohort to do for this assignment. Maybe Leah, however, needs some constructive feedback. Perhaps she didn't include an agenda when she did her video, and so Mark can give her that feedback and ask her to please redo your video, resubmit it, and so you can provide that feedback and just click on this little box here that says send back for revision. Again, if he's happy with it, he can just go ahead and approve it, and either way, whether he approves it or asks Leah to revise it, Leah's instantly going to get a notification on what the next step is for her for this particular assignment. Now, that's kind of an informal process to provide some feedback. We do also support more formal processes that could even include a rubric. So let's say Mark is supposed to be completing an evaluation form for this assignment instead. As you'll see here, you can go into the evaluation form, be able to see the assignment details, see the learner submission here, and over here on the right side, be able to see the rubric with all the criteria that's been provided to Mark to evaluate the learner's work. So you can take advantage of things like sliders. We can answer questions where we're asking for a numerical score. You can even ask your evaluators to just simply type in some text as part of their feedback. We even provide you a feedback capture grid, just to make it really easy to capture, popular feedback, like what worked, what could be improved, what was unclear, what other ideas should be considered. And the evaluation form isn't limited to mentors. You can provide it to instructors. You can even provide it to peers, and we anonymize the evaluator information so the learner doesn't see it. And as a result, we've gotten great feedback from customers saying, you know what, when it's anonymous, the evaluator just feels so much more comfortable providing that feedback, and they're more direct with that feedback as well. So a couple of things that you can do as a mentor, but really the key takeaway here is that mentors can access a dashboard very quickly and easily, see where their learners are at, so you can provide very quick, targeted support, because often these mentors are already very busy, so if they just have a few minutes a day to check in on their learners, they can absolutely do that and stay on top of everything. Any questions about the mentor experience for someone like Mark?
Yes, we had a few questions that have come in, and again, please send us any questions you have. We love answering them. First question here is, how many learners does a mentor or a coach oversee? Is there maximum, best practice maybe?
Right. So there is no limit imposed on you by the NovoEd platform. As a best practice, you want to assign a mentor a number of learners that's going to be manageable, depending on what that mentor's other responsibilities are. If they already have a full-time job, perhaps 10 to 15 learners would be ideal for them.
Okay. And then the other question that I'm seeing here is it possible to upload elements like HTML5, SCORM, or XAPI?
Yes, we support all these different things. As I mentioned before, we do have a SCORM Cloud Player available, and we support multiple versions of SCORM. You can include HTML content. We provide you an HTML editor. If you want to write the HTML code for your content right into the platform, you can do that. And we also provide, as I mentioned before, integration with third-party tools as well.
Amazing. And we have one last question from Amanda here. Do mentors get notifications when there's something available for them to review?
Oh, yes, they do. They instantly would get a notification that they could see here in the platform as well as in their email inbox.
Amazing. Let's go ahead and move on to the admin side. We'll be stopping once more after the admin side to address questions. So if anything comes up, you know how to reach us.
Absolutely. So this is the admin experience. I'm logged in here as Denise. She's the learning experience designer and administrator for this Leading Virtual Teams course. And when she's logged in to the learning journey, she's going to have access to an administrator dashboard. So this is a little wrench that she can access within her navigation, and you actually get shortcuts to the dashboard to do things like manage teams and groups, send out announcements, even update the users, maybe give them, maybe bring in a new learner, for example, or provide someone the role of a mentor, for instance. There are also out-of-the-box analytics that someone like Denise can access as well. So I'm going to actually take you to the analytics here for a completed learning journey so we can see more examples of the type of the data we collect and report on. Now, every one of your courses is going to have an analytics dashboard like this. Now, from a bird's eye view, you can see how many learners you have enrolled, how many have completed, but you can also drill down into specific things like your assessments. We could see, for example, for all your assignments, who's completed, who hasn't, whether that's an individual assignment or a team assignment. And you can easily see your performance data of your learners. You also have the ability to see engagement data. So as you can see in this report, we're looking at discussions being provided throughout the learning journey. Here, we had a spike in week 2. So now you have that insight available that you can explore a little bit more. What was so great about week 2 that we had so much engagement and discussions? Was it the content, the facilitation, something else? Now you have the data available so you can find out and continue to emulate what's working there. Your content also has data reported as well. So videos, for instance, I mentioned we can provide you analytics on videos and let you know who watched them, who didn't. You can even provide a rule for a video saying like, in order for this to be automatically considered complete as a to-do, you got to watch at least 90% of the video, for example. And I just drill down into the report for this particular video. Here, I could see as an administrator like Denise, how many people watched, and when did they drop off if they did. 4 people, for example, dropped off after they watched 10 to 20 minutes of the video. So this one has great engagement. On average, people watch 95% of the video. But if this particular bar was on the left side, I would want to investigate that. Why did people drop off so early? Was it the video too long? Was it complicated or just boring? Again, we provide you the data so you can see what's working, what's not, and then make appropriate changes. Now, these are out-of-the-box reports, but you can create your own reports as well. We call them data downloads, and they're easy to create. They're just point and click in terms of setting them up. And you can report on a variety of different populations, not just your learners, but report on your mentors or the teaching team, for example. And you'll have access to all the data we provide you. That includes all your social activity data, in addition to performance data on things like assignments and tests. Also engagement with things like providing feedback. Maybe you want to see how many people found others' feedback to be helpful. And then continue just walking through the steps here to build a report, give it a name, save it, and you can run it again and again to get the latest data. We provide you a CSV file that you can open up in a spreadsheet tool like Excel or Google Sheets to review that data. Now data needs to be actionable, right? So many of our customers love that you can look at the data and know what's working, what's not, and then make appropriate changes. And as the administrator here, Denise has the ability to edit this course. In fact, she designed the course from the very beginning. So she can navigate to a specific lesson, for instance, and make some changes to it. So let's say, for instance, within this particular lesson, there was some confusion over one of the concepts that was being taught within it. So Leah wants to provide some clarification, for example. Now, when she hovers her mouse over the canvas of the lesson, there's a little add link. She clicks on that, and then on the left side of the screen, she has access to all the different course elements she can utilize. Now, we even provide you templates to make it quick and easy to create beautiful content. So maybe Denise wants to clarify things for learners like Leah. And maybe here she's just really, before a discussion or quiz, she wants to clarify that what we're asking is, what did you learn in the video? Or it could be a document, for example. And your learning experience designers can easily change the look and feel of content as well. As you can see, we can do things like change the font type, the font color. We can change the placement of images and text as well. So really easy to be able to create that content. As you'll notice in the menu, we can add things like videos, podcasts, assessments like quizzes and assignments, social activities like discussions and feedback, and also third-party tools like a lot of you have been asking about, SCORM, anything you want to embed, and we even integrate with LTI tools. So people like Denise here have a lot of great tools to make this learning journey as engaging and social and collaborative as possible for learners like Leah. That said, any questions for someone like Denise as an administrator?
Yeah, we have some great questions that came in. Can you edit a published or a live course if you want to include new content?
You sure can. I just did it as Denise.
Perfect. And as you were walking through the data downloads, is it possible to schedule something similar to a weekly report that can then be sent out to various members on your team?
Not currently, but it is something we're looking at developing as part of the roadmap.
Okay. And then can you talk more about exporting data and how people are able to do that, or admins, I should say?
Yeah, exactly. So you can build a data download, export the data into a CSV file. We also support XAPI. In fact, there was a question alluding to that earlier. So if you want to pull out your data, via XAPI and do something like pull it into a learning record store, you can certainly do that and get much richer analytics.
Okay. And then the last question that I see here is, are you able to have the same course offered to separate groups or different companies?
You can. You have the ability to copy courses, we call them clones, and then offer different versions to different people.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Juan. If you have any other questions, please send them through our platform. We're happy to talk more about them offline as we are at time. So if you would like to learn more about the NovoEd platform, please let us know. You can just type in yes in the control panel. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. If you could do us a huge favor and fill out the feedback survey at the end of the webinar, that would be most helpful to both Juan and I as we can improve this program. And again, thank you so much. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.